Obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
It's a cookbook.
Who are we?
When will they take the bandages off?
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
This lemon sucker here. He's the most suspicious of the bunch.
My name is Talkie Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
I believe you're loyal. My way.
Live from Willoughby, at the heart of the Twilight Zone, it's
The second.
annual Christmas special. Now here are your hosts, Alex and Tyler. The Twilight Zone.
What is up, Gnomies, and Merry Christmas. I'm Alex.
And I'm Tyler.
Welcome to the Twilight Gnome podcast, our second annual Christmas special, episode 93. What episode are we going to be discussing this week, Ty?
This week we have 5 characters in search of an exit.
Season 3, episode 14, original air date December 22nd, 1961. That's today that we are recording.
Yes, well, we're not recording in 1961, but it is December 22nd.
Wait, it isn't? This was written by Rod Serling and directed by Lamont Johnson, who did 8 episodes of The Twilight Zone. You ready for his?
Let's hear him.
All pretty good, except for 2. He did The Shelter, Nothing in the Dark, One More Pallbearer, Kick the Can, 4 O'Clock, Hocus Pocus and Frisbee, and Passage on the Lady Anne.
I would agree. The 2 of those were little stinkers. I haven't seen Passage on the Lady Anne
Same.
yet, though, but we'll see.
All right, we'll jump right into it, Ty. What was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment is when the ballerina and the clown are kind of giving their explanations as to what they think it's possibly going on for them. I think both of their ideas are pretty imaginative, and I would have liked it had what they said or predicted had come true instead of what it actually happened to be. But
I like that it doesn't, because I feel like everything that they throw out are the obvious ones.
I also feel like what came out as the resolution is unearned. So something like what they were saying, it didn't have to be specifically exactly what they were kind of getting at, but I liked their ideas. I liked the clown in this is just very philosophical for a clown, and definitely great dialogue and writing on whoever wrote the clown's dialogue there.
I mean, to no one's surprise, this is my favorite episode of The Twilight Zone, without a doubt. So it's hard to pick a single moment from this. I really enjoy the climb scenes. I'm thinking of how they were filming that was probably fun, because obviously they filmed that on its side.
Down, yeah.
And I was just thinking of like the logistics of doing that in real life. Do you think you'd even be able to?
No, you would not be.
No fucking
the person
way.
on the bottom would not be able to hold the weight of 4 other people, first of all, and then also
You don't
like
think people make pyramids and like cheerleading and shit?
Not with that many people tall, and then also just you would, if you're trying to pull someone up, you're gonna get off balance, and like I guess at least they have the one wall behind them as sort of supporting them, but I don't think it would be physically possible for them to kind of do what they're doing. Although I guess they're also toys, so maybe the laws of physics apply different. So
Spoiler alert, Tyler.
We have the technology to rebuild it.
Doctor, what have you created?
I am, for all intent and purposes, AI Serling.
So every week I put a prompt into ChatGPT, come up with a Rod Serling style intro to the episode we are watching, and this week it came up with this. Submitted for your approval, a metal cylinder of unknown origin, containing 5 people who've apparently wandered in from 5 different television shows, and none of them bothered to read the instruction manual. There's a ballerina, a clown, a bagpiper, a hobo, and a major, all pacing in existential panic, asking the kind of questions normally reserved for philosophy majors and people stuck in elevators. They argue, they theorize, they climb walls, they desperately search for an exit, while the audience, safely at home, smugly assumes there must be a door somewhere because it's only episode 14. But beware, in the Twilight Zone, answers rarely arrive on schedule, and escape clauses are written in very small print. For these 5 characters, this is not just a search for an exit. It's a reminder that sometimes the real trap is thinking you're the main character when you're really just part of the display in the Twilight Zone.
interesting.
All right, so every week Tyler and I come up with a few questions for each other, keep each other on our toes while watching said episode. I have 3 this week.
I also have 3.
All right, it's an odd, go for it.
All right, my first question. What rank does the clown say the Major could become tomorrow?
Brigadier.
Correct. I don't know what that, is that higher than a Major?
I'm not very good at the hierarchy order of military
The
things
Navy,
like that.
yeah, or the Army.
What's the hobo's theory? What's he think?
We're all dead.
We're dead.
Yeah.
Doesn't he kind of remind you of Tom Petty a little?
No?
Like looks-wise and everything. I just kept thinking Tom Petty with the hobo.
I don't see it. I don't see Tom Petty there. My next question, what is the bagpipe player guess on why they're there?
His is, we're not real. And then he says, we're a figment of someone's imagination. Or something to that effect.
Yeah, pretty close. He says they don't exist. They're dream figures from someone else's existence.
At the end, when it's revealed that they are toys and we have that scene there, on the barrel, what are the ages that they're looking for toys?
6 to 10?
2 to 10.
Oh, okay. What 2-year-old's playing with an action figure?
I bet 2-year-olds would play with action figures, for
Well,
sure.
Could be a choking. I mean, 2 is a little young. I don't know.
Not for like a 6-inch doll.
I guess. All right, my last question. How long of rope does the clown produce?
I mean, does he? I don't think he specifically says
He
it.
does.
He says 3 yards.
6 yards.
Damn it. What number doll drive is this? Also on the bucket at the end.
10th annual.
17th annual.
It was unlikely to be a nice round number.
All right, well, we'll jump right into the plot of this one. We open on a pretty cool shot of it kind of looks like, what would you say, like the moon or some sort of light source.
essence, yeah. We can tell that that's the only opening in this otherwise enclosed chamber here.
We get a zoom down and we see an army guy kind of just chilling there looking a little defunct, and he's obviously like, what the fuck is going on? And he kind of stumbles around and he steps on a clown, which how would you not see that? And how would you not see the other people?
Yeah, there's a lot of plot holes in this like that I just don't understand. Apparently, I mean, I guess for him, he's just waking up and looking around, but yeah, he would still see unless he's in like a really dark section of the barrel, which we'll later find out that's a barrel.
Right. And then we get a really cool piece of dialogue right off the bat. I love Murray Matheson's fucking acting in this is top notch. It's got to be up there, I think.
Both the acting and the writing. The writing is also superb for all the characters, but most importantly, I'd say the clown and the ballerina have some of the best dialogue in this episode for sure.
But I'll play some of this because it literally, like this, the existential dread of this episode. I absolutely adore this kind of thing. And the whole clown's thing when he's talking about, oh, a clown, a circus, a major, a war. That's logic, isn't it?
But there's no logic here.
Right? I love it.
A couple of very unimportant items seem to have eluded me, like who I am.
You said you were a major.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who are you? What are you doing here? Is there a circus around here somewhere?
A circus? Yeah, there must be a circus. A clown, a circus, an officer, a war. That's logic, isn't it?
But it doesn't figure at all. Not at all.
It's so cool. And then he does you're just like the rest of us. The rest of us.
And then we get a shot of everyone else that's kind of stuck in their same predicament.
How
walking
fucking
in.
scary would that be? You see at the back, people are walking out. If you were in the major situation, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on here?
But again, to your earlier point, where the fuck were they hiding? It's a circular room with no walls or anything like that. Like, how did he not notice 3 other people besides the clown this entire time?
I mean, how are toys talking right now? You got to suspend disbelief a little bit. Maybe they could have been like in the shadows. They could just appear. Maybe they're in like a different dimension when they're in this state. Who knows?
And then another good point that the clown brings up too is that the major doesn't know who he is, yet he's certain he's a major. So there's certain characteristics of his personality that he is aware of, which is perplexing, which we don't really even get a sufficient answer to.
I think it's more of the like Buzz Lightyear thing. You know how Buzz like only knows I'm a space commander, and he says like the exact same thing that's on the box. I think like toys would only have that
limited information about their
Yes.
backstory, like only that which was bothered to have been written for them, and everything else is just a big old question mark.
Right.
Interesting idea. All right, so once all the other characters start emerging from the shadows, we get the quintessential line of "Who are we?" from the general, to which the ballerina responds with, "None of us knows, Major. We don't know who we are or where we are."
All of us just woke up here one day. And then Rod
Takes us in.
Clown, hobo, ballet dancer, bagpiper, and an army major. A collection of question marks. 5 improbable entities stuck together into a pit of darkness. No logic, no reason, no explanation. Just a prolonged nightmare in which fear, loneliness, and the unexplainable walk hand in hand through the shadows. In a moment, we'll start collecting clues as to the whys, the whats, and the wheres. We will not end the nightmare, we'll only explain it. Because this is the Twilight Zone.
Cool Rod intro. I like how he's at the top of the cylinder. I mean, where else would he be? But
Exactly, but I do like that he's interacting in a very unique way, which, I mean, sometimes we just see him kind of just standing around, but I like that he's, kind of at the top of the little bucket there. But yeah, after Rod's intro, we see that the Major is drastically pounding on the walls. He's trying to find any sort of weak spot that he could possibly, maybe they came through a door or some way to get out of there, but to no avail.
all the other characters are kind of just like, you're wasting your time. We've gone around every inch of this place, which obviously, if you were in this situation, you'd do the same. I'm not just going to take their word for it, but
yeah,
you can see them being like, poor fella, he'll fucking tire himself out soon.
Especially the clown. I think the clown has been here the longest, just where he seems so apathetic to everything. Like when the Major starts pounding on the walls and he jokingly sings the song, "We're here because we're here because."
But he's also, I don't know, I love his character. Is without a doubt my favorite character in all of the Twilight Zone.
Oh, he's definitely a great character. I think he's both playing the clown and being funny, but he's also very cynical and definitely the one to... That's why I think he's been here the longest. He's the first one to say, no, I'm not going to bother even climbing, when the general later kind of suggests that idea. He's definitely seems the most depressed, and a sad clown is kind of, I guess, a trope of sorts.
True. It's at this point that he kind of starts getting everybody's theory, like, well, what the fuck? What are we doing here? And everyone kind of starts laying out their
different ideas as to where they are. And that's where we get my favorite part here, where the clown kind of lists where he thinks they could be, followed by the ballerina. And then we get the hobo and then the bagpipe player all kind of pitching in what they think they are, or where they think they are.
Maybe we're on a spaceship going to another planet. Maybe we're all insane. Or maybe this is a mirage, an illusion.
We're dead. And this is limbo.
We don't really exist. We're dream figures from somebody else's existence.
Or we're each of us having a dream, and everyone else is part of the other person's dream. You call it. You can have it. That's the one thing we have an abundance of. Possibilities. An infinite number of possibilities.
I like that line, an abundance of possibilities. I think that's a really clever way to kind of put how their circumstances are.
Right. But the Major's not having any part of this. He's like, there's got to be a fucking way out of here. Have you tried screaming? They're like, we've done everything.
Endlessly.
You haven't done everything. Well, have you taken your shoe off and pounded against the wall?
And then he comes up with a good question of, well, there must be someone that comes in to feed you guys, like someone that's bringing stuff to you. And to which the ballerina brings up the point, do you feel hungry, Major? Do you feel tired or thirsty? And
which is odd, because why would they feel pain? Because the clown later on says something to the effect of, like, pain is another thing. Gravity is not on our side, and I do not want to feel that. But like,
I suppose a toy can break, but obviously toys don't need to eat or drink or sleep. But I mean, if they can break, it would imply maybe they can feel some sort of pain,
right?
But yeah, so we kind of get that little extra element of mystery and a little clue as to what could be going on if they don't get tired or get hungry or get thirsty. Then kind of gives us a little clue as to what might be going on. And then the The Major asks what they've tried so far, but before he gets an answer, we get a very loud clanging of a bell, which, again, a kind of second little nod as to what the truth of their existence.
For sure. What did you think it was the first time that you saw it?
I don't remember. I think this is an episode I watched a long, long time ago. I don't remember what I thought the first bell sound was.
I like how they're all kind of like, even the clown kind of like cowers a little when he hears it. Like they're all kind of afraid, even though they might not admit it.
I don't think it's a fear necessarily. Like to them, that sound is like magnified because they're so small and it's a very large bell sound.
Reverberating in that metal can.
Exactly. Like inside metal, it's reverberated to the extreme. So I think it's physically hurting their ears.
And then the Major kind of loses it. Let us out of here! And they all kind of fall to the ground.
And then that's when they kind of say, oh, ballerina, won't you dance for us to help pass the time? And the bagpipe starts playing the bagpipe, and then the Major, again, just freaks out and says, no, screw this. Like, why are you guys so complacent to just waste time away? Like, I want to get out of here, which is reasonable for him because he's just got here, and he obviously wants a way out.
And he's like, have you tried getting out? Maybe through the wall's the right idea. And then the clown's just like, what are we going to do? We're going to claw through it with our fingers? And he's no, with this. And he's got a sword.
Yeah, which, again, I mean, none of them had a sword, so it's reasonable to assume that it could work, but he immediately breaks when he...
Notice he dents the wall, too?
He does dent the wall slightly, which I guess...
If it was metal, you wouldn't do that. So obviously this is not probably made out of metal.
The toys might have been made out of metal. I don't know. But yeah, he does dent the wall slightly, but the sword completely breaks, so that kind of throws away their whole idea of breaking through.
It is kind of good, though, because it sets up using that as an anchor later on in the episode.
It does kind of like the Major's sword instead of Chekhov's gun. So, so after his sword breaks, the general kind of breaks too, and he kind of breaks down emotionally with the ballerina here.
Please, Major. After a while, it'll be a lot easier. Perhaps there are a lot of dungeons like this. Maybe we've just never heard of them before. Perhaps they're for the unloved. Perhaps that's who we are.
There's something kind of sinister about the ballerina, don't you think?
I think there's something sinister about all of them. But just making an aside note here, where you said the hobo kind of looked like someone, I think the ballerina looks a lot like Ali Sheedy.
Who's that?
She plays in The Breakfast Club as she's the one that's not Molly Ringwald. She's also in like Short Circuit. And
really? I don't think it looks anything like her.
Not the you're picturing her from The Breakfast Club. In all of the movies where it's not The Breakfast Club, she actually looks really hot. But
we get a cool shot of the Major here, kind of hammering down into the floor, like trying to go through the floor. I do kind of like that shot.
There's a couple cool shots here. And then I think soon after he realizes, oh, I can tell you exactly where we are. We're in hell.
A long, drawn-out way of saying it.
Yeah.
It should be quite clear to you guys. We, all of us, all five of us, is like, we get it, Shakespeare. Fucking.
And then we get our first little commercial break. And then when we get back from our commercial break, we can see the general still hitting the wall, and he's figured out that it's metal, he declares to everyone else, which I think they already probably knew.
That?
Yeah. Because it should be pretty obvious just from touching it that it's metal. So the clown then sarcastically suggests that their way out should be to go over the top because they're kind of on the line of like acrobatics and stuff like that.
And then the Major goes, no, you're onto something like that. Haven't you guys seen it before? One on top of each other. Let's do it.
And then the clown, who's the only, he's like, you're a clown. You should have experience in doing this. And he's like, I might be dressed like a clown, but I've never been to a circus, sir.
Right. And then the Major kind of obviously takes it upon himself to like organize this stack. He stacks them so stupid. Obviously, the clown's kind of an older guy, but he puts the fucking bagpiper almost to the top. He seems like he'd be one of the strongest one. Having him at almost the top is really dumb.
Well, I think it makes sense that the general suggests that, the Major suggests that he's at the bottom because it's obviously his plan, so he wants to bear the most weight. And then I think he suggests the clown second because he's still a clown, and even though he doesn't remember being in a circus, he's at least should have the acrobatic skills of carrying people above him. And then
he does hobo, which I would definitely not do that.
Yeah, I'd probably do the hobo above the bagpipe player, but then obviously the ballerina on top where she's the girl and you don't want to crush her under the weight of everyone
But also
else.
she has the longest fall if shit goes down, which it later does.
Yeah, but so when the Major's kind of trying to rally everyone to do it, most of them all seem on board except for the clown, which I think the first time I watched this, I thought the clown was the devil. If this was hell, he seems to be the one that's kind of bringing everyone down and being negative. You're like, no, there's no way out. And then when they finally come up with a plan to escape, he's the only naysayer, like, no, it's not going to work. And then he eventually does come along to it just by saying, well, if I'm not going to be the only no, I guess, if everyone else is doing it. But he does seem a bit sinister in the sense, especially from the Major's
every
perspective.
character in this kind of seems sinister, especially because we have no prior knowledge of where they came from and all that. But I think most viewers would put themselves in the Major situation.
Yes, just waking up with him into this world.
And you'd be like, all these people, these 4 people might be in on this.
Yeah, which is possibly it's something that has gone through his mind.
But eventually he rallies even the clown to go along with his plan, and they decide to make their first attempt to get out of this. And they have the ballerina go all the way up to the top, and she is so close to getting to the
Just
rim.
a matter of inches, and then the bell rings. They all get knocked down.
And they all come tumbling down.
And then once they're all tumbled down, the ballerina says, oh, I think I sprained my leg here. I don't know if I can go back up. But the Major has a new plan. He's going to use the sword to throw it up and then catch them around.
How much farther? How much more would it have taken?
I could almost feel it.
You were almost there.
A miss is as good as a mile.
Well, not in this case. Oh, a miss by 2 or 3 inches, that's hardly a mile. Oh, here's what we'll do next. Now, the same thing without the girl. The clown on the bottom, then the tramp, then the bagpiper, then I climb up. A rope around the haft of this sword, fling it over the ledge, and let it hook on the edge.
We're going to do the same thing without the girl. Clown on bottom.
I mean, technically, fucking, they got enough rope. That guy's, the bagpiper has like his whole scarf thing. They probably had enough shit to just throw that up and climb up the fucking, like, so everyone could climb up.
Oh, maybe. I was making a sexual joke there where they were saying, no.
Without the girl.
Without the girl. Clown on bottom. But
yeah.
yes, they all start getting different ropes from each other. It's weird that the bagpipe player still carried his bagpipes up with him. Like, why not leave that behind? Like, it's just extra weight that's unnecessary.
Maybe, I mean, I guess in hindsight, if he's a toy, he might be attached to him and he can't take it off.
Oh, maybe. But yeah, they all start building a rope and then they climb up again. And did you notice on this climb, there's a shot of like the general and he's trying to climb over the bagpipe player and is like, he's wearing a kilt, so it keeps like riding up as the general's like crawling over
crotch to face. Yep. So then the Major is there. He throws his sword up. Of course, he misses the first couple times, but then he finally gets it. He climbs up, and it's so clearly that it's like lying down, not upwards, because he holds on with just like one hand for like a couple of seconds, and like there's no way you'd be able to do that, especially after exerting yourself.
Well, he's also a toy. Toys maybe have different kinds of strength. But yeah, so when he gets to the top, he's holding on, and we can hear the ballerina asking from the bottom, like, what do you see, Major?
What is it? Where are we? And instead of answering, the asshole just goes, "Ah!"
Which is a weird response.
And he falls, and we get a really cool shot. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Because you see something land in snow, and it's clearly like a doll.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought it was like, what is this, like an Antarctica? Obviously, the thing kind of comes out of nowhere, but in retrospect, when you're watching it, I know you've said that a lot of good twists, like you should see it.
You shouldn't be able
clues that allude
there
to it.
should be clues to it, and
Which
the
there
answer
is.
should make sense. I'll come to it later when I'm giving my review of it, but I feel overall the big reveal that they are toys inside a donation box on Christmas just doesn't really fit. There's too many plot holes, and I feel like they wrote it with the beginning first of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we just have these 5 randos inside a big old room with just an opening at the top. Like, how did they all get in there? And they wrote it kind of like how J.J. Abrams wrote like Star Wars Episode 7, where he's like, I'm just going to lay a bunch of question marks and not worry about the answers to those questions. Like, no, if you're writing a story, you should write backwards. Like, okay, here's what the ending is. how do I make it interesting from the beginning instead of like writing it from the beginning of I'm going to put a bunch of questions that I don't even know the answer to.
I love it because it's not predictable. And it's still, you can, when you retrospectively go back and watch it, you'd be like, all right, it kind of makes sense. Yes, there are some plot holes, but to me, it doesn't matter because it's really, the story's more of the, who are we? Like, it's obviously an allegory for us as human beings, like who are, like, getting philosophical into that existential
I didn't take that
dread.
at all. I took
Really?
that as like they wanted to just write a fun mystery, but they kind of wrote it poorly.
No, I think this, especially, like, I feel like I find myself in existential crisis quite a bit, and this just, it gets that point across really well. Because, like, I mean, fucking, we could die and then find out that we were toys. It is a possibility. You don't fucking know.
I guess if you think about it that broadly, like, sure, I guess it could be an allegory, but I don't know. I still don't enjoy the ending or the answer.
Brave man. Not a very bright one. He may be back, but it won't be to get us. He may have been right at that. This may be hell.
I found this in the snow. Someone must have dropped it.
Oh, thank you, dear. And just drop that in the barrel over there, will you? Dolls for Christmas.
I really enjoy the plot twist, and it's just...
No, I don't.
I like it a lot.
Well, anyway, after this, we get another weird little shot. Now that we realize that they're dolls, the camera kind of zooms inside the barrel once again, but instead of seeing the normal characters, they have these like waxy looks. Obviously, they're mannequins now, and instead of that real actors there. But makes you wonder, like, okay, so did the magic of the barrel stop working, and now they're dolls again? Like,
I think it's because we're seeing it from reality now. I think
again,
you
too many questions.
You look into things too many. You're a doubter.
I just like when in a story you need to have a fucking answer if you made a question.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
There's no answer to life.
This isn't life. This is an episode of a TV show, and there should be a fucking answer from the writers.
I disagree wholeheartedly. But anyway, Rod takes us out.
Just a barrel. A dark depository where are kept the counterfeit make-believe pieces of plaster and cloth wrought in the distorted image of human life. But this added hopeful note. Perhaps they are unloved only for the moment. In the arms of children, there can be nothing but love. A clown, a tramp, a bagpipe player, a ballet dancer, and a major. Tonight's cast of players and the odd stage, known as the Twilight Zone.
The awkward hand movement of the ballerina just reminded me of Team America.
I thought that was kind of cool. At least it adds like, oh, look, they're still moving. They're alive? Question mark?
And that's our episode. Tyler, what did you learn?
Christmas toy donation barrels are magic.
They sure are. All right, we'll jump right into ratings. IMDb currently has this at an 8.5 out of 10. I'm obviously giving this a 10 out of 10. This has always been my favorite, and I can't imagine it ever won't be my favorite Twilight Zone episode. It gets you to think on a deeper level of the whole, whether it's good or bad and is detrimental to you is up for debate, but it just makes you think, like, what the fuck even is this shit? I love it.
All right, I'm giving this a 7.5. The acting and the dialogue are superb. They're really great, especially from the clown and the ballerina. And I like the mystery elements of it all, but I feel the reveal is unearned, and I don't think it fits. I think it leaves too many questions and holes, like, why did they suddenly become alive? Why don't they have memories? Why, when the major was dropped in, presumably by a hand, did they not notice that there was a hand dropping him in? Just too many weird...
I would imagine when humans are around that the magic doesn't work or something like that.
But it's just such weird rules, and none of it's explained, and just, I can't get behind the ending. I loved everything up until they had to reveal, okay, here's what's happening, and then it just kind of falls apart. But other than that, I mean, it is still a great episode, so.
Who are they? Where are they? What are they? Let's find out together in the Twilight Gnome presents Inside the Twilight Zone.
We finally did the episode where that actually makes kind of sense. The who are they? What are they? Where are they?
Oh,
Obviously
nice.
listed it from this episode.
Who are we?
So, First off, we have Susan Harrison. She actually got top billing in this episode. She obviously played the ballerina. She only had 11 credits to her name. She only acted from 1956 to 1963, despite her living till 2019. So she must have just not liked acting very much. She was in, obviously, this episode of Twilight Zone. This was her only appearance in Twilight Zone. She was in one episode of Hitchcock Presents, one episode of Bonanza, and one Playhouse 90. But everything else was just kind of just one episodes here and there in the late 50s, early 60s. Then we have William Wyndham. He played the Major. He was in 2 Twilight Zones, and now we have finished his, this, and Miniature. Obviously, I like this better. Did you like Miniature better?
No, I like this better than Miniature.
Right.
Miniature was, I think, one of my lowest rated ones.
Was it?
Yeah.
He was in 3 episodes of Night Gallery, so he got to work with Rod again, at least. He was in the movie Uncle Buck as an older man. He was in the 1960s To Kill a Mockingbird, and he was also in Escape from Planet of the Apes, which a loose Rod Serling connection there. Then we have Murray Matheson. He played the clown. He was also in Twilight Zone the movie in the 80s. He was Mr. Aggie in the Kick the Can segment of Twilight Zone the movie. He was in 1 episode of Night Gallery. He had 142 credits to his names from 1945 to 1983. 13 studio ones. As you can imagine, he was really more of like the more sophisticated actor, so you'd see him in more of the studio ones, those Playhouse type of dealios. And he typically played like, obviously like the smarter British man. He was in a couple episodes. He was in like Charlie's Angels and a couple stuff in the 70s. That was pretty neat as well. The title from this episode is taken from a play, 6 Characters in Search of an Author. They had dolls specifically made for each of the actors.
Obviously. They didn't just find mannequins like, hey, this one happens to look like this actor.
Let's cast around this. The scene at the end with the toy drive, that set was also used for Penny for Your Thoughts.
Penny for your thought.
In total, this episode cost $54,736. The director received the usual $1,250, and the cast received $6,760.
If the book can be believed.
If it can be believed. Yeah. Kind of a little lackluster on trivia for such. Would you call this an iconic one? I feel like I love it, but I feel like other people, like, this wouldn't be like in the top 25 most like iconic Twilight Zones.
I don't think it'd be top 20, but maybe like top 40. Like, it is a well-known episode, but definitely not like one of the most well-known episodes.
What'd you say your name was?
What's in a name, Mr. Pinnaker, really? It's a mere question of semantics. Just language. A mere stretch of words.
So every week, Tyler and I come up with a few alternative titles to the episode we are watching. You can do so as well if you want to leave a comment. I only have 2 this week.
Oh, I got 5.
5 titles in search of an exit. All right, go first then.
All right, my debacle. I got the donation debacle.
Hey, that's a good one.
And I have the mystery barrel.
All right, I have the doll donation debacle.
Yep. I have You Are Here.
And I have my best one, I think, Who Are We? Would be a pretty good title for this episode.
Yeah. My other 2 are We Are Where We Are, and my last one, An Infinite Number of Possibilities.
I like that one a lot. That's a good one. Switcheroos, I have 5.
I have 4.
All right, go for it.
Living Dolls.
I don't have that. I have Where Is Everybody?
I also have that one, yep. I got Escape Clause.
Yep, I have that. I have The Lonely.
No, I have The Arrival.
Yep, I have that. And then I have In His Image. Just because they're dolls.
Kinda.
That one was loose, but it could work.
Yeah. You are now about to penetrate the Twilight Zone.
All right, so every now and again, if we have a worthy porno parody title, we will do so. And Tyler says he has one this week. So
I feel a little bad doing this on Christmas, but that's a good one.
I was trying to go a little classier and not do it for Christmas.
Well, mine's too fun not to do. Right. So instead of 5 characters in search of an exit, I have 5 clitorises in search of an orgasm.
All right. Merry Christmas.
Oh, it may be better, it may be worse. The Twilight Zone did it first.
All right, so not as many different references as I thought there would be. Like you said, I thought this was a fairly well-known episode, but still got a few anyway for you. So starting us off, 1997's movie called Cube, where there are 5 people that all awake inside of a giant cube.
That is a cool movie.
I've never seen it, but apparently, like, the director said that this episode was a direct inspiration for that movie.
It's a lot more horror, like some of the cubes like will kill you and stuff. It's a very unique movie. I think you'd like it.
Oh, neat. Then we also have 1990's episode of Star Trek titled Allegiance, where Picard and 3 other aliens, they're all like unique, different people, and they all awake in a sealed room, and they need to work together in order to escape. So again, similar idea there. And then we also have the Toy Story franchise in general, just about toys being awake when they're not played with. Specifically, though, I saw online it said that in Toy Story 2, during the elevator scene where Buzz and them are trying to rescue Woody in the elevator, it says that there are a few notes of music from the Twilight Zone you can hear like while they're in the elevator shaft. And I listened to it and kind of maybe, I don't know. Everyone take a listen at home if you are a fan of Toy Story 2. Watch
I used
that
to think
scene.
that was my favorite one, but it may have changed.
I've only seen the first 2. Yeah, I'm not a big Toy Story fan. And then we also have the 2006 movie Unknown, where 5 men awake in a locked warehouse with no memories, and they got to figure out who is good and who is bad.
Sounds like a night at Bill Cosby's house. Hey,
whoa! And then the 1995 show Weird Science, not to be confused with the movie Weird Science, in their episode Sci-Fi Zoned, in which the opening narration, Chet refers to Gary and Wyatt as, quote, 2 boys in search of an exit.
So it shouldn't be confused with the movie, but they have the same names?
I think it's based off of the movie, but like I'm just saying, like
Different
there was a
actors and
movie,
everything.
and then yeah.
I gotcha. All right. Well, every week Tyler picks the episodes. He does so by showing me an AI-generated picture. I play a little game where I have to guess what it is. Now, this will be the first episode of 2026.
Technically, we'll be recording it on the last day of 2025.
Well, anyway. So, but I have no idea. Are we in
we're doing
regular
Death
thing?
Other, and this was obviously an Other, so the next one will be Death.
Death's Head Revisited.
Are you ready?
Yeah. The 4 of us are dying.
Correct.
Season
this is
1.
a
That's
hard
that's a
picture
pretty
to
decent
make
one.
for someone's, like, how do you show that they change faces?
Right. No, that's a good one. That's a pretty decent episode. And it's season 1.
Yep, season 1.
Is it as good as I remember? Or is it okay? I mean, I never remember this one being, like, amazing, but it's a decent one.
It's fine. It's passable.
All right.
You are about to receive a message from the 5th dimension.
All right, so we got one comment on our last episode, and that episode, in case you forgot, was about a short drink from a certain fountain, and our message comes from Rachel F. Rachel F. says, Flora was just a B word. I was glad for the ending. Me too. She really was. She got what was coming to her.
I am indifferent to that. I don't know how to think of Flora. She's obviously pretty bitchy, but I don't know. Did she deserve that?
Yes, she did.
But thank you for the comment, Rachel. We really appreciate it. If you guys could please leave a comment down below, we would love to hear them, and we will read it out on the show. Just a little bit of housekeeping here. If you guys could please continue to like and subscribe on the YouTube page, it would mean the world to us. And if you're listening to this on Spotify by any chance, if you could please give us a 5-star review, because why?
We are a 5-star show.
We sure are. And if you need to get a hold of us for any other reason, you can email us at twilightgnome59@gmail.com. Is that still empty?
It's still empty.
Crickets. All right.
Also, don't forget to go out and vote on our poll.
Yes.
This week's poll is all about our 5 characters. Tell us which one is your favorite.
And last week's, the which intro was better, it was tied with Season 1 and Season 4 and 5, but now Season 4 and 5 has gotten quite the head start on it.
Yes, looks like 48% for Season 4-5.
Yeah, so if you haven't hit up that poll, you can go back and have a fun time. If you haven't ever done a poll, you can have like probably a good 30 minutes of just going through all of them and doing that. I love doing polls, but
Alex loves poll.
Hey, now. All right. Final question for you, Ty. If we had to remake this, what would our 5 characters be? Example. Obviously, they're toys, and would this give away the ending if you had like an astronaut, a ninja, that type of thing?
So I'm remaking this, but I can't change the ending? Like, it's still going to be that they're
yes, they're going to be toys, but you got to change who the characters are, because the bagpipe player and the hobo's kind of fucking stupid.
I guess I'd make them toys that are. If I
Like
make them
Darth
toys that are
Vader.
popular today, that's really going to give away that they're toys. Why am I a Sith Lord?
And I guess it could have to be something generic, like a pirate or something like, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
you probably couldn't. I'd use a generic superhero would probably be one. Because if you're thinking like action figures, I'd still keep.
That might give it away hardcore. What'd you think?
No, just a buff guy in like a
How about-
spandex
but like
with like
a
a
wrestler?
cape.
How about like a wrestler, like a Hulk Hogan type wrestler guy?
They can have that one too, but I'm also saying there should be a superhero. Like
right.
just super dude. Obviously, you can't use Superman, but yeah. So superhero. Yeah, I'd probably also do a wrestling guy. A ballerina makes sense too. I'd probably throw in a non-human character, maybe like a dog or a horse. Maybe I feel like horses are pretty popular for dolls.
I thought you were gonna go more like still like humanoid, like a robot or like a fucking alien or something.
No, I think it'd be fun to have like an animal thrown in there just to really like mix it up.
I think you definitely know something would fuck you up.
Like, why is there this horse? I don't know.
Quick, Superman, pick the horse up and throw him out of this thing.
Yeah. So superhero, wrestler, ballerina, horse, and I like the idea of a robot. I think maybe a robot too. Some like Japanese looking robot, like maybe like a Power Rangers Megazord looking thing, or like some sort of like I don't know, transformer-y looking one.
That would be very fun to do that one. But all right, let's do it as if no robots or like it has to be like something that doesn't completely give it away. Because I'm gonna be on team like I still think the clown's really cool. I'm gonna keep the clown because I like it so much.
Who owns clown dolls?
I don't. All right, fine. If we can have a clown, a wrestler like a Hulk Hogan type of guy, like a samurai would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
A pirate.
Again, why would you own a pirate doll?
Like Pirates of the Caribbean or something would be kind of cool,
guess.
right?
That's not gonna give it away.
A pirate?
Why is there a pirate here?
There's a guy on our team that thinks he's a pirate?
I don't know. This
quite possible.
It's hard to pick out costumes that don't. I mean,
what about
it
like
was
a knight?
Yeah, again, like these are all weird, but having a superhero was a giveaway, and a horse. Horses are normal.
A horse would definitely.
No, how does that give it away that they're toys?
Would it be like a talking horse?
No,
Or
just
would it
be,
just
it's
be
just
a
fucking horse. It's just a horse. Like, oh, we're here. So is this horse.
He's just shitting in the corner, fucking everything up.
He wouldn't be shitting. They're dolls. They don't eat or drink.
I suppose.
It'd be fun to kind of write around like a non-human, non-talking character like that. It'd make it more of a challenge.
We should work. If we ever do the play, we should mix it up and have 5 different characters, just so it's a little different.
All right, I'm keeping everything except for the robot. I guess I'd change that out to like a samurai. Would be cool. If I have
Still
to
think
do
you
something
should
that
change
doesn't
your
give it away.
superhero.
No, a superhero makes sense.
I think it should just be the wrestler instead. A wrestler would be cool. A wrestler, a samurai, a ballerina, or maybe something more like modern day equivalent.
There's still ballerinas that exist
I
today.
know.
Something more equivalent to a ballerina, just a pop star.
Just Nicki Minaj.
Generic
wet ass pussy.
Generic pop star character. They have like a little microphone that like in front of
like
them,
the
or
Britney
like
Spears thing.
they hold a microphone or something. Yeah, we could do
Maybe.
that.
Just put a random goth guy in there or something.
That's not an action figure either. It's all
Be
the
a
things you're naming
vampire.
aren't action figures.
I don't know. What would you guys do if you had to come up with like a more modern 5 characters of in search of an exit? I think that could be pretty fun.
That would be fun. Yeah, I like that.
All right. Well, until then, Ty, do you have anything to say to our dear, dear Nomies on this beautiful Christmas day?
Yes, hoping you guys all have an amazing Christmas and a happy New Year from us at the Twilight Gnome.
It's 4 o'clock, the howling man is gone. Frisbee's telling stories, Mr. Dingle